Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I want to talk a little bit about Zion Oil, give you some additional thoughts and opinions on what I see going on with Zion Oil. Now before I get into this folks, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information and giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. You know folks, I've been involved with Zion Oil for a long time. A lot of people have been involved in Zion Oil a lot longer than I have. And there's been a lot of disappointments, throughout time. And a lot of people were interested and got interested in Zion Oil when the price was actually pretty low. And if you're not an experienced trader, dealing with a stock, you need to make sure you have an exit plan. And you need to have some type of stop loss set. Say if you bought in at 10 cents, when I was doing those videos around the time, I think Zion Oil was anywhere between 10 and 15 cents. People needed to have an exit plan. And I've looked at the stock a whole lot differently since I've been getting to learn how to trade, since I've learned more about the oil industry and how it works. And you can see the price of the stock now. I think this week it reached a high of around 29 cents and it's currently sitting at 23 cents. And I even know that there's even still people holding on to Zion Oil even from the Robinhood days. Okay, and if you still are holding on to that, there have been plenty of opportunities for you to sell depending on what price you bought it at. The major thing is that Zion Oil is getting ready to release the results. They said in quarter three. Well, quarter three starts in July. And to be honest with you folks, I think a lot more people are probably going to start selling off as we get into quarter three. Now, in the last video that I did, I went over the shareholder meeting. And there wasn't any energy. There wasn't any optimism. If you look at everybody's body language, it was all negative. They just took out all the momentum out of Zion Oil. And that was one of the very important things that I looked at, was to look at how everybody was reacting, right? And some people were saying, well, they're probably faking it because they don't want to let people know that they have a viable oil well. I'm like, well, why would they do that? Why would they show any type of negativity? And as far as I know, Israel's pretty open about their oil and gas discoveries with other companies, right? And what they're already doing now, right? They have this big ship that has... this whole big old ship. They have this big ship that's like a refinery and all this other stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's massive. It's like, obviously they're not too concerned about their enemies attacking. If they got this big ship that's like basically, I wouldn't want to be on that ship at any time, especially being in Israel. But the thing about it was, the most important thing was there was no optimism. There was no any type of positive emotions. And so that has really stuck with me and has really bothered me a lot. And I just want people to make sure that if they release these results and you don't have an exit plan and you don't have any type of stop losses set up, you're going to be waiting a very long time to the next time that they have any chance of getting a viable well. All right, so I just want to put that out there, folks, because I have talked about this stock for a very long time. And I've put a lot of faith in this company, and they always haven't been up front. I just don't feel right about what's going on. And I could be completely wrong, but I don't think they would do anything that's going to be negative and hurting their own stock or hurting their own company. The meeting should have been so positive that it should have pushed the stock up to at least $1. That's how positive the meeting should have been. But everybody was just all down and out. And not only that, they had to send off their results to a third party for verification. Now, from what I understand, they should already know everything that I have read about getting test results from an oil well to see if it's viable or not. We don't have to go through all this to get the result, right? At most, once they reached their point and they started testing, they should have known within several weeks, and that happened in May. So everybody needs to be aware, and hopefully everybody that has bought, that you bought under the price to where it's at right now. And as I've been saying, I'm not going to be buying this stock at 30 cents. And if you did buy the stock at 30 cents and it went up, then you should have had your stop losses in at 30 cents. One of the other things that bothers me about this, if they started testing in May and they already sent off their test results, why is it that nobody on the inside is buying the stock? One thing that the CEO or people on the board, doesn't always happen, but nobody's buying any of the stocks. I'm not seeing anything dealing with anybody buying any stocks. Like I said, they were started the test in May. So I don't see anything. As far as the short interest, okay, on Friday, it was The short volume ratio was 13%. There was hardly any volume that day. The fails to deliver, it looks like there's nothing that can help push the stock up. I believe the oil prices are on average, $110 per barrel, right? Which is still pretty high, but it's not having an effect on Zion Oil. I think the meeting really just took the steam out of Zion Oil. And I know people who have already exited out of their position. They took a profit, they exited, and they said that they're just not taking a chance because nothing seems positive. And I don't believe that they would be doing this on purpose. That's ridiculous that they would act like that, just all of a sudden come out and say that we have a viable well. That would seem like that would be some type of deception, witchcraft, or whatever else to act like that. If I have positive results, I'm not going to tell everybody in the meeting, oh, make sure you act negative, make sure you act like you don't know anything. That is the most ridiculous excuse that I've heard. I'm making this video because we're getting close to quarter 3. Sharing this because I want you guys, if you guys did invest around that time period when I thought that it was going to go to 5 cents, but then we had the war in Ukraine and the oil prices shoot up, and that's why it never did reach that, but it did reach that 10-cent point. And if you did invest between the 10 and 15-cent point, then I would definitely make sure that you put in your stop loss. If you invested when it was at 30 and 40 cents, folks, I don't know. I would have gotten out and at least maybe tried to get back in at a lower price. And you would think that the CEO, right, would have been very, very positive in this meeting. And even, and I didn't watch the last one, but I know Coach Financial Channel, he talked about how in the last shareholder meeting, how positive he was and everything. And it was day and night as far as how he acted in the last one compared to this one. And I just don't see any reason why there would be deception and that they would hurt their stock, right? And then people would sell off. Whatever decisions you make from here, I have shared my thoughts and opinions. If you want to put in stop losses, that is up to you. But if they come out with those results and you do not have your exit plan with at least some type of stop loss, you cannot complain because I have shared that information, what you should be doing at this point right now. And for me, I'll just wait because I think that if they announce that they don't have a viable well, the stock is going to go down to a penny. And if you hold on to your stocks and it goes down to a penny, you're going to be waiting at least another 6 months before they're going to start drilling anywhere else. Okay, and then we can start the cycle all over again. If you want to go ahead and invest after it drops down to a penny, then I would say to do that. But right now, folks, it's kind of ridiculous that I'm seeing stocks less than a penny and that actually have wells and they're pumping wells. And people say, and you look at other stocks that are in the United States. The United States has the largest oil reserve in the world. And there are companies that are pumping oil out of the largest oil reserve in the world, and they are cheaper than Zion Oil. And some of those companies, stocks are on $5 or $6 or $10 or $14, and they're pumping multiple wells out of the largest oil reserve in the world right now. So these are just some of my thoughts and my opinions. I'm not trying to be negative or, anti this or anti that. It's the reality and how I'm looking at the stock. If they don't announce a positive well, that's fine. Guess what? I'll get back in when it's at a penny or below a penny, and I'll start stacking up and go through the whole process again because I do support what they are trying to do for Israel. But I've shared my thoughts and my opinions, and you should be prepared to sell or put in a stop loss or whatever the case whenever that news release comes out. Now, it might be very well that it could be a positive one, and even if you miss out, that's fine because we have so many other investments and they still have to raise money. They still have to sell off a ton of stocks to get things going. There's always going to be opportunities to get in, no matter what. So if you expect the stock to go up to $20 and stay at $20, don't believe that lie. Because I believe that for a very long time. That's all I have for today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.